Denair, California, super small town in Stanislaus County. Is it somewhere you should consider moving or not? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex, your local Turlock real estate agent. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that bell for notifications and hit subscribe so you can be the first one updated on the Central Valley real estate market. So today we're going to talk about Denair, California, super small town, population of only around 5,000 people or so. If you're not familiar with the location, it's essentially an extension of Turlock, and it's one of the very last most southern towns in Stanislaus County before entering Merced County. So we're going to go over some of the pros and some of the cons of living in Denair, California. But I will preface by saying that I personally really like Denair, and I've had a lot of clients move there who are very, very happy living there. So my pros list is probably going to be a little bit longer than my cons list, but let's just jump straight into it. Now, the first part of living in Denair is you're super close to Turlock, but you're more in a rural setting. So yes, Denair is a town. There's a lot of houses. There's some few restaurants here and there and a small downtown, but you're still in a more country-like setting. So some of the homes may have bigger backyards. It's definitely quieter there. You're not right next to a freeway there, but you're still super close to Turlock. So, if Denair doesn't offer certain shopping or dining, which, it's a smaller town, only 5,000 people, it won't. You're just a few minutes away from Turlock to access everything that you possibly need. So to me, it's kind of the best of both worlds in that sense. But if you are someone looking to be more right in the middle of things, even just a few minutes away from shopping and dining, Turlock would probably be a better option for you. Now, another pro to Denair that I do like to point out to people considering moving there is you actually will have lower electricity bills than some of the surrounding communities. Denair is part of Turlock Irrigation District, commonly referred to as TID. So all of your electricity bills will be paid through TID, and it's significantly cheaper than PG&E, which a lot of California is on. So Denair is one of, if you're looking at a map, one of the most southern areas that's on TID. And then next to it, you're going into Merced County, and Merced County is PG&E. So you're going to be paying about a third the cost for your utility bills every month living in Denair versus going a little bit more south towards Merced. Again, you could buy a home in Turlock as well too, and you'll be on Turlock Irrigation District. But that's a really big pro that a lot of people don't think of. Now, I do want to say that you still are on PG&E for your gas bills, but at least for electricity, you're not. Now, this third pro is really big for all of you parents out there because Denair actually is home to Gratton Charter School, which serves elementary and middle, so I think 1st through 8th grade. And it is ranked, according to niche.com, as the #1 public elementary school in all of Stanislaus County. It's a super small school, only has around maybe 120 students or so, with a student to teacher ratio of around 20:1. I've read it's even less. I don't exactly know, the numbers change a bit, but very low student to teacher ratio. Very specialized programs and overall just super high ratings. So if you're living in Denair, that could be really convenient for you if you want to send your child to just a fantastic high rated school. Now, another pro is the Amtrak station is directly in Denair. So it's considered the Turlock Denair station, but it's technically in Denair. And the Amtrak station does take you to quite a few different locations, such as Sacramento, the Bay Area. You can even go as far as, I think, Los Angeles. Keep in mind, some of these further stops, like going to the Bay or going to LA, you are going to have mixed services. So you may have to get off this train, hop onto another one. But I've looked at the schedules before and it's usually pretty quick, just a few minutes apart. It's not like a layover on a flight. It's just waiting a few minutes, next train comes, jump on it and get going. So super convenient. I know people that take it more to Northern California as well too. You could even, I've seen commuters take it. I've also seen just for day trips and if you don't want to drive. Lots of great options there. Very convenient that we have this. And lastly, a big pro in my opinion, even though Denair is very small, they're starting to grow quite a bit. I mean, there's space in Denair, there's empty land to keep growing. So LGI Homes is actually building a whole new subdivision there. And these homes, I want to say the grand opening is in December of 2025. And you can go pick out your floor plan in advance if you're seeing this before then. But these homes are actually not going to be like the standard cookie cutter homes that you normally see. They'll be similar, but the backyards will be bigger. We've seen a lot of new homes come to the Central Valley, but there's just hardly no backyards in any of these homes, which a lot of people prefer having a bigger backyard. So these will actually have bigger lot sizes, 8,000 to 9,000 square feet. And the builder is doing a lot of incentives to get people into homes, such as buying down your interest rate. You could have an interest rate in the 4%, 4% range or so. They're covering most of your closing costs for you, so you only have to come with about $4,000 out of pocket as of right now. This is a couple months before end of 2025. I'm filming this, just so you are aware. But there's a lot of great benefits to buying these new built homes that we don't see in a lot of areas. Now, like any town, Denair does have some cons, so I'm going to go over 3 different cons. I will say though, as I mentioned, I like Denair. I had a much easier time coming up with pros for it. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of downsides to living there, but there are some, just like any place. But I would love to know in the comments what your pros and cons are if you ever have lived there. So the first con I want to talk about is the train noise. So Santa Fe Avenue is the main road that kind of cuts through Denair, and there is, as we talked about, the train there. But it's not only the Amtrak, it's also freight trains, and that is a very, very active railroad line. So there's constantly trains going back and forth. I absolutely hate when I have to cross over Santa Fe and I catch a train, especially if it's the freight trains and you're waiting for a while. Amtrak, it's done within a minute or two, so it's quick. But the biggest thing is the noise. So a lot of homes in Denair, it's not a big deal if you live further away from the train tracks. But if you are closer to it, or especially if you're on Santa Fe Avenue, it's going to be kind of loud. So I do recommend, if you are going to be fairly close to the train, to at least look at homes that have upgraded windows, or consider that as an investment if you are moving to the home, to upgrade your windows to dual pane, because that's going to block out a lot of that noise. Had some clients that live fairly close, have dual pane windows, and they say they literally like never hear it. Even from Turlock, you can actually hear that train sometimes as well too. So you're going to hear it no matter where you're at in Denair, but most of the time it's just kind of background noise. It's not a big deal. None of my clients have really complained about it, but it's just something to consider. You don't want to be literally right next to that railroad line. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, it's not necessarily a con. It's just more something for you to consider when you're buying a home in Denair, because this does come up more frequently than some other areas. But because we're in a country-like setting, there are homes closer out going into the country that are on septic or well systems. So you just want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, especially if you've never lived in homes with those. Now, there's a lot of people that live with those in their homes and it's not a big deal. And there's a lot of places in Denair, if you're actually in the town itself, you're going to be on public city sewer and water. So this doesn't even apply to you. But there's a lot of really, really nice homes out in the country of Denair, and you're going to have that well system, you're going to have that septic system. So you want to make sure you get those inspected before buying a home. That's a really, really important inspection to get, and make sure your septic's not about to be going out at any time now. But just be aware of that. Your realtor should let you know, depending on where you're buying, if this is going to be a problem or not. And the last con is your commute time, if you are a commuter, can add up a little bit quicker if you're living in Denair, because we do not have direct freeway access in Denair. You're gonna have to drive a little bit to get to the 99 freeway. And if you're already commuting up quite a distance, this extra, 10, 15 minutes can really add up. So it is just something to be aware of. I don't think a lot of people have issues with this, honestly. That's why I said I was kind of stretching here with some of these cons. And some people actually do see this almost as a pro, because you're not hearing that freeway noise. You're always further out into the country. It's more quiet there. But again, if you are a commuter spending a lot of hours on the road, this could be a downfall. And you may want to look into a city, even a home in a specific city that's right along the freeway, or at least close to it. So you're not spending and wasting a lot of time fighting traffic just to get to the freeway. So there you have my top pros and cons of living in Denair, California. Let me know in the comments what you think, what your pros and cons are if you have lived there before. Make sure you are following along to hear all of the Central Valley real estate updates. If you are looking to move to Denair or any of the surrounding areas, feel free to send me a text or give me a call, and I would be more than happy to sit down with you to go over exactly what it is that you're looking for. So next time, I'll show you around the valley.